Okay, folks, hope that you're well. We have part 3 of our interview with John Rhodes here. If you missed part 1 or 2, please check the show notes. The description will have the links there. They're well worth your time. I know that it can help in longer segments like this to know what's coming, so I made some notes. First of all, the tour, and a really cool thing they learned about the paint process in the tour, the fit and finish compared to Tesla, the storage, the comfort and feel and ergonomics, Meridian audio, user interface impressions, the charge curve, battery management, and then overall ride quality and suspension in general. Don't forget that you can watch this entire interview, all 3 parts, plus stuff that didn't make the final cut over at rivianstories.com. And please subscribe because we have more interviews coming from others who attended this same event. Okay, here is part 3.
I learned one really cool thing that I had no idea was even possible. In painting, they can run 2 cars right down the paint line, one right after another, and this one can be white, and the next one can be red, and the next one can be green, and the next one can be yellow,
Really?
with a 1.5 meter separation between the vehicles.
Holy cow. Jeez.
Think about that.
What?
Yeah.
4.5 feet. Wow.
Yeah, They don't stop. They don't have to do all greens today and all whites tomorrow, one right behind another, just right down through the paint line. I was amazed by that. I had no idea that technology existed. But
I had no idea either.
Obviously it does, yeah. Obviously
cool.
it does. It was
Wild.
Yeah,
that is
really
wild.
cool.
Well, that does kind of blow up some of our theories because I didn't know how that works either. We thought maybe they have a batch and whatnot, but it's probably they have a handful of colors that they know are finalized, and then they pair that up with delivery location for this first kind of order. Let's not get into that, but that's fascinating. So through the paint shop area in the second tour, keep going with anything there.
Yeah, and then we saw the zone, and I forget where they call it, where they're the finishing, where they're putting in the dashes and where they're putting in the seats and all that kind of stuff. So we got to see everything. Cool. I don't think they held anything back from us.
Anything from the Amazon side?
Oh, yeah. So then at the very end, I think some people had asked about the Amazon because it sort of seemed as an afterthought. After we finished all the Rivian side, they said, and now we're going to go see, some people have asked if we can see the Amazon, so now we go over there. So then we take off down to the far side of the Amazon line. And the Amazon vans, a car will run straight down the assembly line, so that, front and back, front wheels going forward. Well, in the Amazon line, the vans go down sideways down the assembly line.
No way.
Because most of the work is happening on the front end or the back end, all out in the middle. The van space.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So they run them sideways down the assembly line. So we saw everything. We saw R1Ss, R1Ts, and Amazon vans all on the assembly lines in different states. And what they're doing right now is just tweaking everything. They could turn on that plant. Look at him; he's back. They could turn on that plant tomorrow, I think, if they really wanted to. But what they're doing right now is just tweaking all the final stuff, all the painting, all the body fit and finish, and all their techniques for assembly. All that's getting tweaked right now. So it'll very shortly be pumping out cars at the rate of. What was that rate? A vehicle every 5 minutes, I think they said. A vehicle every 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds about
right. Maybe
4
it was
minutes?
4.
Yeah.
4 minutes, maybe. Yeah.
4.
It was, anyway, pretty quick.
After that tour, was that kind of like the wrap-up, or did a few other things still happen?
After that tour, the very last thing we did was the round table with RJ, where we went back and had that round table discussion with him. And then even after that, they didn't hurry us out of there. This was, late in the day, and we hung around and talked to whoever we wanted to, the guides or the engineers, or sat in the vehicle some more or whatever. It was very, very nice.
That's so cool. So
Awesome.
I'll ask like a couple. Do you mind if we peg you with a few questions? Are you
No, absolutely.
time?
No, that's great. Yeah, fine.
Would you, as a Tesla driver, and we recently got one last September. How would you compare fit and finish on the interior of your Tesla versus the R1T that you guys were in?
The R1T is definitely fit and finish better than Tesla right now. And obviously I saw an early car, but it's better. Tesla's always had that fit and finish problem that feels like they must be hurrying to get them off the assembly line or something. My 2013 Tesla I had was probably better fit and finish. In fact, I know it was than my 2019 that I have now. So, that's always been a sore point with a lot of us Tesla drivers, that we don't feel like Tesla takes great care in putting these together. And I have no thoughts at all that that's going to be an issue with the Rivian. The Rivian just seems to be doing everything right when I see what they're doing with the tweaks in the factory and measuring the gaps and, making sure they get everything right. And looking at the paint quality on the vehicles that I saw, it is first class. It is really, really nice. Yeah, I'm very, very looking forward to it.
Cool. Skylar, what are you thinking right now?
So a couple of questions, and I don't know whether you covered any of this while I was gone. But,
that's okay.
Just overall kind of comfort and ergonomics and feel in the front and or back seats. And then also to follow up on that, another interior related question is, what did you think of the Meridian audio?
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that. The comfort first. My first ride was in the back seat, and when I jumped in, I'm 6'1". There was a guy who was also 6'1" directly in front of me. He said, "Do you want me to move the seat up?" I said, "Oh no, I've got 3 extra inches back here, between my knees and the back seat." And he said,
That's awesome.
"Really?" He said, "Wow, I've got a ton of room up here." So tons of room. The surfaces in the vehicle were first class, really, really comfortable, really nice looking, nothing seemed cheap at all in there. They had those Chilowich floor mats in there that were just, beautiful floor mats.
Yep.
Everything was good. The wood on the dash and the wood around the center console, really nice. So as far as the ergonomics in the car, and then when I was driving the car, the controls felt very well placed. The stalks were good. The drive selector was perfect. It was really nice. Just I didn't have anything that seemed out of place or that I was disappointed with. We even turned on the cooled seats, the ventilated seats. That is one of the things that I have missed for years, because my Teslas haven't had them. My Yukon that I used to drive, 10 years ago had cooled seats, but I've been missing them. But living down here in the South, but it had cooled seats that worked great. So
very cool.
Yeah. And then wait, there was one other thing. Yes,
Meridian audio.
Oh, Meridian. Yeah. Yes, sorry, I forgot that.
If you're listening on YouTube or even on John's group, I actually just spoke with some Meridian people today, and they're coming on soon. So subscribe, get there. But we're pumped about that. Answer that for us. What'd you think?
No, the Meridian audio system was just beautiful. I mean, everything sounded great. Yeah, no, my Tesla Model S has a really nice sound system in it. It's the premium audio system that they've got in there is very good, and I felt like this Meridian system was at least as good, if not better. It was really nice.
Awesome. And then, do you remember anything along with that, as far as what the source was for the music? As far as,
believe we were listening to Spotify. Yeah, pretty sure it was Spotify that they had tuned in, and I'm sure you've seen there's no XM Sirius integration built into the car, but your phone's got Bluetooth connection to the vehicle, and you've got Spotify built in, so it seems fairly easy.
I drive an old Tahoe that has a tape deck in it still. Does it have a tape deck by chance?
No, there is no tape deck, no CD player.
That's bull. I'm canceling.
Certainly no 8-track tape.
Dang it.
Yeah, well, that's
Okay, so you got to hear this story. My uncle, who was a young guy talking about back in the 60s, actually had a car that had a record player built into the car. A record player.
Wow.
I remember that record player. It was down between the front seats.
Man, I might get some
on the floorboard.
Might get some skips. Jeez, that's hilarious.
Yeah. I think that was only when you were parking. You go parking and play your records.
What do you got? You guys got any other questions that are floating around in your head down there at the bottom of my screen? I know there's a lot. We've gone through. I'll tee up one that I've been wondering about. I know you're in Georgia, where the sun can get warm. I'm in Illinois, where the sun can get really warm too. And then we've got a couple other southern guys. So glass roof, no electrochromatic, which is fine. But what do you think of just the roof and specifically just kind of the heat management? I know you had some rain. Yeah.
Right, we did, but we had sun too. In fact, when we were out there in the sun, I intentionally, because my glass roof in my current Tesla does get a little warm, so I reached up and felt this one, and it was nice.
Okay.
I don't know what they're doing, what the technology in their glass is, but it was really nice. I wouldn't be at all worried about heat gain through that glass. And it was nice, big sunroof too. It was nice having it there.
Perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Was there any type of, like, I know on the new Teslas, there's the low speed pedestrian warning. Was there any type of configurable audio or that you guys at least heard or?
Yeah, no, I did not hear any low speed audio at all. So I don't know. Has that been mandated yet? Is it required of electric vehicles at the moment? Does anybody know for sure?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did not hear it. And thinking about when I've seen current Tesla Model 3s, new one, are they making a low speed noise now? Has anybody been up close to one when they're in a parking lot?
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah, they are.
So,
they are. I mean, you can even do like the crazy goat noises that you see on YouTube and some of these other.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. No, I did not hear any low speed noise, but I'm sure if it's if it's required, they'll have it, and I'm sure it will be configurable. Their user interface seemed very complete, I guess. Okay. It seems like it's going to have whatever you want in it.
User interface is a huge topic right now and something that a lot of people have been begging for, just any kind of preview on how the UI is going to be on those screens. And I know you guys obviously saw a little bit of it. And first impressions, they probably didn't take you through a 2-hour tour like a user guide, but just overall impressions.
They didn't, but the impressions were very nice. It had a lot of drive modes that we could select right there on the screen. The mapping looked good on the screen. The audio controls looked great on the screen. So I saw all of that. I didn't interface much with it myself because I was either riding in the back or busy driving. So I didn't do much of it myself. But like when we were changing modes to go from the hill climbing to the on track experience or the over the moguls experience, my driver coach who was with me would just reach up and change the mode for me, and it was just a push of a button, very quick. Yeah,
very cool. And I love that you're coming
I shouldn't say button. It wasn't really a button. A touch of the screen.
Tap the screen.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that one thing that I listened to here is just knowing that you have a lot of years in a Tesla where you have a big screen and even some of the little imperceptible stuff that you would get used to on something like a Tesla, which is like a reactive screen. You didn't feel yourself waiting on any lag or anything like that, or kind of seeing that?
I didn't notice any lag at all. Everything seemed perfectly real time. Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool.
And did anything seem out of reach as far as, one of the big complaints that you see from a lot of people with the horizontal orientation of the screen is that some of the things on the top right or bottom left or top right or bottom right difficult to reach? Was there any?
Yeah, it's nothing seemed far. It's
No.
I touched everything on the screen, at one point or another. Nothing seemed like it was far away. I'm not a little person. Somebody with short arms, might have a different opinion of that. But no, it seemed fine. I certainly didn't. It never entered my mind that anything seemed any further away than it is on my Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
awesome. Gotcha. John, when we started this, it was 3:45. You said you had an hour. We're coming right up on that. I'm going to really want to respect your time. We can always have you on again. I'd love to, but I'm going to give Skylar and Jimmy one last chance to ask a final question, and then I'll probably try and wrap up recording to respect your time here.
Sure, no problem.
My last question, did they give you any type of idea on charge curve?
There was some discussion of charging, and I don't. They did say, when you first plug in, if you're down low, it's going to ramp up, like we expect with everything else.
Right.
They did talk about maximum charge levels or rates, I guess. Probably not being over 200 kilowatts. Is kilowatts correct, or is it kilowatt hours? Whichever it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not over 200 kilowatts at first, but they expect that to be 250 kilowatts after a software update. So I think that's, just some of those being careful kind of things. I don't know. But when you look at 250 kilowatts in a battery that size, I think we'll be fine. I don't think there'll be any issues charging. And the battery system, one of the battery engineers did talk about how the battery cooling, the battery management, I guess, a little bit at one point to me, and it seemed like they have a very thoughtful design that we should be great to go with the battery. I don't anticipate, from what I heard, any battery related or charging related issues.
Yeah, with a warranty like theirs, they're definitely not expecting it or anticipating it.
Right.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Skylar, do you have anything last kind of thing floating around in your head that you'd like to ask?
So just overall ride quality and what you thought of the suspension in general.
Yeah, thanks for asking that. I really sort of meant to talk about that. It felt like the most capable vehicle I've ever been in. I mean, it just did everything well. When we were on the track, in the pouring rain on the hard surface, zooming around, or whether we were climbing the side of a dirt mountain or going over moguls, it was so incredibly stable. The inputs that I gave the car when I was driving it, it was like I had a driving coach almost telling me, here's exactly what you need to do to get the car to do this. But I didn't. It was just the car was so responsive and so like it was smart, to be honest with you. When I was sliding it around the dirt track, I had it in a mode where it would allow me to do that. And it knew what I wanted to do next. When I started to give it a little steering input, it corrected really way better than I thought it was going to. And when I was going over these bumps where they had these giant bumps where you could tell that the wheel travel, must have been moving 2 feet, because when I'd come down off of one bump and be up on another one at the same time, it was amazing how capable that vehicle felt. I mean, that's awesome. I would love to have been outside looking at it when I was doing some of these things that I was doing, going up a hill and then all of a sudden turning, hard 90 degrees off to the side and going down at like a 45-degree angle off of, both directions down and sideways at the same time. Still felt so stable and so precise. It was amazing, truly amazing.
Great answer. Well, I don't have a final question for you because I really do want to respect your time and get you off to dinner and to those things. I'll just end by saying thank you again for being here. And I really do think that the 10 people they chose were the right 10 people. I mean, you're just the perfect candidate for going. A lot of grace in your personality and just a great experience that you brought to it and are bringing to us. So thank you for sharing it with us. To the people that are watching, if you have questions, and sorry, Jamie and Skylar, if you have more questions, we'll have to get you back.
Good.
And what I'd say there, John, is that we'd love to have you back at some point. And to be honest, I'm kind of sinking my teeth into this little hobby a little bit more, and we have great plans coming. We love to kind of keep following your journey, especially when you get it in September, and we still haven't seen one. I'm coming to Georgia.
We
for
hope
crying
September.
out loud.
We hope September.
But we'd love to stay in touch with you. I definitely want to say again to make sure and join the Facebook group that John has started, Rivian Automotive Fans, and you can just search that there on Facebook. And you can certainly join us over at rivianstories.com as well. But John, you've been great. We're super impressed by your articulation and how much value you've brought to us, and we'd love to stay in touch. Cool.
That's terrific. Yeah.
Yep, thanks.
Yep. Thank you very much, John.
Cool.
Yeah, really appreciate it, John. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, guys. It was a lot of fun. We can do it again anytime.
That sounds good.
For sure.